Everything you thought was certain is about to shift. This eclipse is not just in the sky, it is in your life. It is the universe pressing the reset button on your destiny. A lunar eclipse is never just an astronomical event. It is an energetic portal that affects every level of our being, emotional, spiritual, and karmic. When the moon, which governs our inner world, emotions, memories, and subconscious, is temporarily darkened, we are invited to look deep within ourselves. What was hidden comes to the surface. What was denied can no longer be ignored. The spiritual meaning of today's lunar eclipse lies in its power of revelation. It is as if the universe turns off the outer light for a few moments so that you can finally see what is happening inside you. The moon rules intuition, psychic sensitivity, and soul memory. When it is eclipsed, the veil's thin, and you are given the chance to confront truths that were buried in silence. Eclipses are catalysts of destiny. They accelerate events that might have taken months or even years to unfold. This is why so many people feel sudden shifts, endings, and revelations around eclipse seasons. Relationships may change overnight, opportunities may arise unexpectedly, or situations that were stagnant suddenly collapse. Spiritually, this is not chaos. It is alignment. The eclipse pushes you toward the path that your soul has chosen, even if your conscious mind resists. Today's lunar eclipse carries the energy of closure and awakening. It is like the final chapter of a story that no longer serves your growth. You may feel called to release old wounds, toxic patterns, or connections that drain your spirit. These closures can be painful, but they are also sacred because they clear the way for the new. Remember, the moon represents cycles, and an eclipse is the cosmic signal that a cycle is ending so that another can begin. Another deep spiritual aspect of this eclipse is the activation of karmic memory. Eclipses often bring back people, feelings, or situations from the past. Not to hurt you, but to give you the chance to resolve what was left unfinished. It is as if the universe is saying, this chapter needs closure. Will you free yourself, or will you repeat the same loop? This is why emotions feel more intense, dreams become more vivid, and intuition speaks louder. The spiritual veil is thin, and your higher self is guiding you more directly. Energetically, the lunar eclipse is also a collective awakening. While each person experiences it in a unique way, the whole planet goes through a vibrational shift. Old structures, both internal and external, are destabilized. Truths that were hidden, whether in personal relationships, social systems, or inner shadows, are exposed. This can be uncomfortable, but it is also profoundly liberating. Light can only do its work when the shadow is revealed. Spiritually, today's eclipse invites you to surrender control. You may not understand every event or shift that happens now, but trust that the universe is not punishing you. It is redirecting you. Every door that closes under this energy is one that no longer belongs to your destiny. Every revelation that shakes you is one that frees you from illusions. Every ending is, in truth, a sacred beginning. So, what is the deeper spiritual meaning? The lunar eclipse is a mirror. It reflects your hidden emotions, your karmic lessons, and the path your soul longs to take. It is the universe calling you to awaken, to release what no longer resonates, and to step courageously into alignment with your true purpose. Take a moment today to tune in. Meditate, write, or simply sit in silence under the night sky. Ask your soul, what am I being called to release? What truth am I ready to face? What destiny am I ready to embrace? Because the eclipse is not here to take something away from you. It is here to remind you that you were never meant to live small, to cling to illusions, or to stay in cycles that keep you asleep. You came here to awaken, and today, under the shadow and light of the moon, destiny is speaking directly to you. There are moments in life when time feels different. Days that are not just days, but thresholds. Today's lunar eclipse is one of these thresholds. It is not simply another celestial event to observe in the sky. It is a divine intervention, a cosmic reset, a moment where destiny itself accelerates, and you are invited to step into a higher version of your path. Why is this eclipse such a turning point? Because eclipses are not ordinary lunations. They realign you with the trajectory your soul chose before incarnation. Often we drift away from that higher plan, carried by fear, attachments, or the comfort of old patterns. The eclipse arrives like a sudden wind, pushing your ship back toward the course you were meant to sail. It may feel destabilizing, but it is profoundly necessary. A turning point is always marked by choice. And today, the universe is presenting you with a choice: to hold on to the familiar, or to surrender to the unknown that carries your true destiny. The eclipse magnifies what no longer fits in your journey. It exposes illusions, false comfort, and outdated cycles, making it impossible to ignore them any longer. This is why emotions rise, relationships shift, and events unfold so suddenly under eclipse energy, because destiny doesn't ask for permission. It demands alignment. At a spiritual level, this eclipse functions like a mirror and a doorway. As a mirror, it reflects the places where you have been hiding from yourself, the truths you avoided, the dreams you postponed, the fears you fed. As a doorway, it opens a passage to a new timeline, one where you live with greater authenticity, courage, and alignment. But here lies the key. Only those who are willing to let go of what is collapsing can cross that doorway. This is why eclipses are so often associated with endings. They are not endings for the sake of pain, but for the sake of freedom. Imagine trying to walk through a narrow gate while carrying heavy baggage. You cannot fit through unless you drop what is weighing you down. Similarly, the eclipse asks you, what are you still carrying that blocks your destiny? A limiting belief? A toxic bond? A fear of your own power? The universe is clear. You cannot take the old baggage into the new chapter. The turning point also happens at the level of consciousness. The eclipse destabilizes the structures of your inner world so that you can awaken to new truths. You may receive insights in dreams, sudden clarity about your relationships, or a vision of the path ahead. These are not coincidences. They are messages from your higher self, amplified by the eclipse, guiding you toward the life you were meant to create. On a collective scale, this lunar eclipse is a turning point for humanity as well. We are at a moment in history where old systems, beliefs, and structures are collapsing. Just as individuals are pushed into alignment, societies are too. The truths that surface now may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary for collective awakening. What is crumbling on a global level mirrors what is being dismantled within each soul. The micro and the macro reflect one another. For your personal destiny, the most important message of this eclipse is courage, because a turning point is not only about awareness, it is about action. The eclipse reveals what must change, but it is your willingness to step forward that transforms revelation into destiny. You are being asked to trust the unknown, to leap without seeing the whole path, to honor the calling of your soul even when your mind seeks guarantees. So why is this eclipse a turning point? Because it is closing a door that you cannot reopen and opening another that you cannot ignore. It marks the end of hesitation and the beginning of embodiment. It pulls you out of cycles that drained your spirit and into experiences that awaken your power. It is the moment where the past loosens its grip and the future begins to take shape. Take a breath and reflect. What in your life feels unsustainable, heavy, or false? What is breaking apart despite your efforts to hold it together? What vision of your future keeps whispering to you, no matter how often you try to silence it? These are the clues. The eclipse is showing you the path. Remember, destiny is not something outside of you. It is the deepest truth of your soul waiting to be lived. And today, under the shadow and light of the eclipse, you are standing at the crossroads. One path leads to repetition, comfort, and stagnation. The other leads to awakening, courage, and fulfillment. The universe will not choose for you, but it will illuminate the turning point so clearly that you cannot pretend not to see it. This is the sacred invitation of today's eclipse, to choose your destiny, not your fear, to release the weight of the old, and to step into the freedom of the new, to honor the calling of your soul, even if the path ahead is unknown. Because in truth, the unknown is not empty. It is where your destiny has been waiting for you all along. Every lunar eclipse pulls back the veils that kept you from seeing clearly. It is as if the universe switches on a cosmic spotlight, illuminating the corners of your life where you were avoiding the truth. These revelations are not always gentle. They can feel raw, disruptive, even shocking, but they are also liberating because they allow you to finally face what you could no longer deny. The truths that may surface now often revolve around what is out of alignment with your soul. Relationships that seemed stable may suddenly reveal cracks. Connections built on illusion, dependency, or denial may collapse. People may show their true colors, and situations may reveal hidden dynamics. Spiritually, this is not betrayal, it is clarity. The eclipse is dissolving masks, so you can see reality as it is, not as you wished it to be. Endings, though painful, are sacred during eclipse seasons. They are not random losses. They are part of the divine design to redirect your path. You may experience the closure of relationships, jobs, habits, or even inner beliefs that once defined you. Each ending carries a message. This no longer serves your growth. This cycle has fulfilled its purpose. When the eclipse closes a door, it is not punishment, it is protection. It is spirit removing what your soul has outgrown. The truths that arise now can also come from within. You may realize that you've been holding yourself back, clinging to fears, or hiding your authentic self to please others. This inner awakening can feel just as intense as external shifts. It requires honesty, courage, and the willingness to release the version of yourself that lived in compromise. This self-revelation is perhaps the most powerful gift of the eclipse, the chance to see who you truly are beneath all the layers. Another aspect of the truths revealed during an eclipse is karmic resolution. Old wounds may resurface, not to trap you, but to finally be healed. People from your past may reappear, or memories may rise unexpectedly. These are echoes of unfinished business. The eclipse is bringing them back, so you can release them once and for all. This is why emotions run high and dreams become vivid. Your soul is processing lifetimes of energy in a short span of time. It's important to understand that endings are not just about loss, they are about creating space. Imagine trying to plant a new seed in soil that is already overcrowded with weeds. Nothing can grow. The eclipse pulls out the weeds of your life, habits, relationships, and patterns that block your growth, so that the soil of your destiny becomes fertile again. You may resist these endings, but in time you will see that they were necessary for the new chapter that is waiting to unfold. The truths and endings surfacing now may also challenge your sense of control. The eclipse often dismantles what you thought was secure, shaking the foundations of your comfort zone. But this shake-up has a higher purpose, to remind you that true security does not come from external circumstances, but from your alignment with your soul. When you trust this alignment, you realize that nothing real can ever be lost. What leaves was never meant to stay, and what is destined for you cannot miss you. So ask yourself, what is being revealed in my life right now? What truth can I no longer ignore? What ending feels painful, but also strangely inevitable? These are the signs of the eclipse at work. Honor them. Allow the revelations to guide you. Allow the endings to free you. Because in the end, every truth that surfaces is a key, and every ending is an opening. The eclipse is not taking from you. It is preparing you. It is clearing the path of illusions so you can finally walk in truth, authenticity, and power. This is the sacred paradox of the eclipse. What feels like loss is actually liberation. What feels like an ending is the beginning of a more aligned destiny. And the truths revealed now, no matter how heavy they seem, are the very lights that will guide you into the next chapter of your soul's journey. Every eclipse is a reset, a cosmic recalibration. It does not simply close doors, it opens new ones. But for you to walk through them, you must attune yourself to the frequency of what is unfolding. Alignment with the new energy does not happen through force or control. It happens through presence, surrender, and conscious choice. The first step is release. You cannot align with the new while holding tightly to the old. The energy of the eclipse may already be showing you what is collapsing: relationships, beliefs, patterns, or attachments that no longer serve your evolution. Instead of resisting, allow them to go. This act of release is not weakness, it is strength. It is a declaration to the universe: I trust the flow. I am ready for what is next. The second step is listening inwardly. During eclipse seasons, intuition becomes amplified. Dreams carry symbolic messages. Emotions rise to guide you. Synchronicities appear as signposts. To align with the new energy, you must quiet external noise and tune in to the whispers of your soul. Meditate, journal, or simply create silence in your day. Ask yourself, what feels alive? What feels heavy? What direction calls me, even if I don't understand it fully? The answers are already within you. The third step is embracing change as sacred. Alignment requires flexibility. The new energy may not look like what you expected. It may call you into unfamiliar territory, pushing you to leave behind comfort zones. This is not punishment, it is initiation. Every great awakening requires stepping into the unknown. To align is to trust that what the eclipse brings is not random but purposeful. Another way to align with the energy is through embodiment. Too often, we understand spiritual truths with the mind, but resist living them with our actions. The eclipse challenges you to embody the truth you already know. If you feel called to end a cycle, take the step. If your intuition says, move forward, act on it. Alignment is not just inner awareness, it is action rooted in soul guidance. Gratitude is also a powerful tool for alignment. Even as endings unfold, even as truths shake your foundation, give thanks. Gratitude shifts your frequency from fear to trust. It signals to the universe that you are ready to receive the blessings hidden in the changes. Remember, the new energy is not against you, it is for you. Gratitude allows you to see the hidden gifts even in painful transitions. On a deeper level, alignment means choosing authenticity over illusion. The eclipse energy will not support what is false. If you try to cling to masks, roles, or identities that no longer resonate, you will feel increasing tension. To align is to strip away the false and stand in your truth, no matter how vulnerable it feels. This raw authenticity is the vibration of the new energy, pure, unfiltered, and courageous. Collectively, aligning with this energy means contributing to the awakening of humanity. The more you choose truth, love, and authenticity in your own life, the more you anchor these frequencies in the collective field. The eclipse is not only about you, it is about us. Your alignment ripples outward, helping to birth a new reality for all. So how do you know when you are aligned? You feel lighter, you feel clearer. Even if the outer world looks chaotic, your inner being carries peace. Alignment is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of trust. It is the quiet knowing that every event is guiding you closer to your soul's purpose. Take this eclipse as your invitation to realign. Release what no longer fits. Listen deeply to your soul. Embrace change. Embody truth. And walk forward with gratitude. The doorway is open. The new energy is here. And alignment is simply the choice to step into it fully. Because when you align with the new, you are not just surviving cosmic shifts, you are thriving within them. You are claiming your role as a conscious creator of your destiny. And the universe responds to that choice by unfolding opportunities, connections, and miracles that match your vibration. There are celestial movements that pass quietly, and there are those that echo through every layer of existence. A lunar eclipse is never just background energy. It is a cosmic command. To ignore it is to ignore the voice of your own soul, because this event was written into your path as a marker of transformation. This eclipse is a turning point, a reset that touches your emotions, relationships, beliefs, and destiny. You cannot bypass its influence because its energy works from the inside out. Even if you try to cling to normal routines, you will feel the pull, the sudden wave of emotion, the unexpected truth surfacing, the ending that arrives uninvited but necessary. This is the universe showing you that certain chapters are complete, whether or not you feel ready to close them. Why can it not be ignored? Because eclipses activate alignment. They collapse illusions so that only truth remains. They strip away masks, comforts, and attachments that prevent you from stepping into who you really are. To resist this process is to prolong your suffering. To embrace it is to accelerate your awakening. The choice is always yours, but the current of destiny is too strong to deny. On your journey, this eclipse is like a doorway that appears only once in a cycle. Walk through it, and you step into greater clarity, authenticity, and power. Stay behind, and you remain in loops that drain your spirit. The eclipse doesn't punish, it invites. But it is an invitation so profound that pretending it doesn't exist is impossible. You may feel endings, revelations, or emotional intensity now. These are not signs of chaos, they are signs of alignment. The eclipse is asking you to listen, to release, to realign. Ignoring it would mean ignoring the very signs your higher self placed before you. Remember, your soul chose to be here, at this time, under this sky. This eclipse is part of your journey by design. It cannot be overlooked because it carries the codes of the destiny you came to embody. To honor it is to honor yourself. So take this moment seriously. Pause, reflect, listen. Let go where you are being guided to release. Step forward where you feel the pull of new energy. Trust that this event is not random. It is sacred. And because of that, it cannot and should not be ignored.